Military recruiters are notorious for telling lies about like what job you'll have if you sign up. Oh yeah, well yeah, you want to be over in the communications division. Oh yeah, no problem. We'll get you a job over there. You'll be working with radios all day, son.
Free Talk Live.
The Army turning to video gamers for new recruits. This story from CBSNews.com. And fairly recent, the Army missed its recruiting goal. This is what I mentioned earlier. They missed their recruiting goal for the first time since 2005, which they blamed on a strong economy. I guess that means that the translation there is if people have something going on in their life that's like, worth doing, they'll do that over join the military. Seems like a good plan.
I think a lot of people who are looking for a little direction are, go to the military.
They got nothing better to do. They're lost in life. They want to be told how to live and what to do.
I was ready to sign up.
So was I when I was a punk-ass teenager.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Why
does it make you glad?
I don't think that anybody should.
Why does that make you glad that I was, a young dupe and brought in by militaristic movies and things like that into thinking the military was cool and that I could get free rent or all these perks and bennies and have at it with international conflict?
The Hollywood actually does have deals with the U.S. military in order to, sort of make the military look good. You're going to get in trouble.
They sure do.
Your studio's going to get in trouble if you make sort of anti-military movies.
That's right. You, at the very least, are not going to get funding from them.
Well, you certainly won't get to borrow an M16.
Right. They have private people that can sell those things.
I really meant to say F-16, but I guess they both worked. So
one's a little more common than the other.
Yeah, you can probably get an M16 at the Hollywood rental place or something.
Yeah.
But an F-16 gets a little more difficult. They might have a paper mache one you could sit in and look like you're in it.
Well, I mean, there's computer graphics. You could probably have a fake F-16.
Pretty quickly, it's not going to make a difference, right?
Yeah, these days. But either way, you're correct. The military does have an approval process for movie scripts, and they will, if they don't like your script, they'll tell you what to change if you want to get the funding. So I'm not sure where you're going with that, but let's go on.
I'm just saying that young people tend to, that don't have any place to go necessarily, end up in the military, and it can be a pretty good choice for them. I think in a lot of cases that young people, they don't know what they're signing up for, and they've been
lied to in a lot of cases.
Well, what sort of lies are we talking about?
Military recruiters are notorious for telling lies about like what job you'll have if you sign up. Oh yeah, well yeah, you want to be over in the communications division. Oh yeah, no problem. We'll get you a job over there. You'll be working with radios all day, son. And then you end up in the infantry,
sleeping in the rain. If you can sign a contract that says you will go to a certain spot.
Oh, is that right?
Possible. It's just that they don't want to sign you up that way, and they're not going to make it easy for you. So if you sign a contract that says, number one, I'd like to go to communications. Number two, I'd like to play the French horn in the military band. And number three, I'll sleep outside in the rain with the infantry guys. Then if they don't have room in the communications or the French horn division, then you're outside sleeping in the rain. You signed the contract. Should young people sign contracts without paying attention? Well, 4 years you'll figure out what you signed, I guess. You'll figure out that your word has meaning.
Yeah, well, we've heard from plenty of people who've been in the military and felt like they got taken by these recruiters. Straight up lied to.
I hear that, but I think that young people are getting taken far more seriously by the college apparatus these days.
Okay, at least they don't end up getting shot to death by the college.
It's rare that you're going to get shot to death in the military. Not to say it couldn't happen, and certainly the military doesn't take your body and your health very well.
Get shot by your own guys.
It happens.
Blown up by an IED. I mean, you're right, Mark, that deaths are not as common in the military these days. At least the ones excluding suicides, because those are more common, I think, now than they have been in the past.
Yeah, military suicides are very high.
Combat deaths are lower than they were in, say, Vietnam or
college suicides are probably pretty high too.
Yeah, I knew somebody who I went to high school with who killed himself in college.
People with debt and suicide, that correlates.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not saying I support the college debt.
That's all I'm saying is that kids today are given really crappy choices, and the military is only one of those choices, and it can be used to benefit yourself. I don't think that anybody should ever forget that politicians at their own whims will send young people off to die over wars that are really about mineral rights and a variety of other things.
Or political wrangling, control.
They won't tell us what it's about or why they want it, but they'll do it, sure.
Well, the U.S. military, or the Army specifically, has what they're calling a new target, video gamers. Now, I don't agree with the article in this case because the military has been targeting gamers for at least a decade, maybe longer than that. They've had a U.S. Army game that has existed since I think I lived in Florida. So I think it's been like 13, 15 years since they had this game. I can look it up and find out more about that. But they're putting together an esports team. So they are kind of moving into at least a new area of gaming to try to recruit.
Free Talk Live. Listen live 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern or grab the podcast. It's all at freetalklive.com.